everyone, it's Gaia, and in today's video I want to talk about your first lesson with a new student. It can be a little bit scary, it can be a little bit tricky, and it can make you feel a little bit anxious because obviously you don't know the person on the other side, but I'm sure you will get used to it with time and you will be more and more comfortable. But I think that especially in the beginning it's important to follow a few steps that may help you to have a smooth conversation and make sure that you'll be seeing that student again and that it will become a regular student possibly. So the first thing is that there are some platforms that offer first lesson that is 30 minutes long, while some others offer a 60 minutes long first lesson. There is a big time difference between the two, whether you're just having a first lesson for 30 minutes, it's gonna be much quicker and probably easier than a 60 minutes one. I would say that there are a few things that I tend to do all the time, just because I think it's important to understand the student and his needs and what their goals are. So I generally start off the lesson by kind of breaking the ice and just starting to talk about ourselves. So I ask the student how they're doing, what they do, how old they are, where they're from, and anything like not too personal obviously, but just very general, anything they want to share really. Then I also ask them more language related questions. For example, if they speak any other Latin language, or if they know any other language in general. Latin is a common root for multiple languages. So if you're, for example, speak French, you will see that there are a lot of things that are in common, if not the same, with Italian. So that's a big advantage for the student when learning Italian. I also ask them what their Italian level is. Most of the times I know the answers to these questions because I either talk to them via message on the platform, or it's just a website that tells me already what their level is. But I still ask them again because I want to see like their reaction and what they have to say and how they say it, and just get the real vibe of it. And I actually think it's really, really, really important, fundamental, to ask what their goal is. So what you're doing, what your real job as a teacher is basically to create a language learning journey, I would say, that is tailored to the student, because every student has different needs, has different learning times, and it's like a different process for each student. So you have to be really flexible and adapt to that. And that means understanding the student goals and asking them where they see themselves in a couple of months, or how long do they think that it's gonna take for them to learn. Obviously you can give a feedback on that, but just really understand where they want to get regarding their level. I also talk about how they imagine the lesson to be structured, like what they expect from the lesson, what do they want to do. Do they want to focus on grammar? Do they want to focus on vocabulary? Do they want to focus on listening or reading or writing, anything related to it? Because some students may have a specific goal related, for example, to being able to write an amazing essay in Italian, and they don't care about listening or speaking. So it's important to understand that as well. And also some students like doing grammar, others don't. Some students like doing exercises during the lessons, some others prefer to do them as homework. So it's important to ask them also if they want homework, or if they don't want homework and prefer to just focus and just do focus on Italian during the lesson. I guess that each student has a different background. Some students have time Some others don't. Some others are just lazy and don't want homework. So try to understand that and be really flexible with them and really understanding, really. Then I also talk about me, so it's not like I'm only asking questions or like as if I was a detective. I also, give some details about me and just share things about me with them. And I think it's important to just give them a general look of how the lessons will be structured. It's important to know how to structure your lessons. Obviously, I'm always flexible if something new comes up, if the students has some question, then we move on to a certain topic that maybe I didn't even expect to talk about for that lesson, but still it's important to have some sort of structure or some sort of method if you use for example any books during your lesson, or how you structure it in general. I always also ask them directly, hey, do you have any questions for me? Is there anything you want to ask me? Do you have any doubts? It's important to get a feedback there also, and to understand if what you said, how you're going to structure your lesson is something that it's compatible, like if it matches with their idea and what they expect. Because obviously my suggestion is always to be flexible to what the student likes, and because they know better, they in a way, I mean not necessarily, but they know better how they learn and how they want to learn a new language. You can only give advice and let them try new things, but they'll be the ones that actually know really. I would say it's also really important to ask them specifically what they've done, for example in grammar, especially if they're not starting from zero. Ask them what they've done and what they have not done, and what are the things that they want to revise. Because if they're starting from level B2, obviously you want to know what they've done and what they feel comfortable with, but I'm sure there are sometimes actually things that they want to revise because they forgot. So it's important to ask exactly what they've done and what they have not, and then you maybe can let them speak in Italian if they can, and you can just start writing down some mistakes they make or some good things that they said, and just like keep your ears very attentive to what I say. Finally, I ask the student if they have any questions or doubt, and if they say they don't, then I move on to the lesson, the real lesson, let's say. If it's a 30-minute first trial lesson, then probably it's already finished, you already said goodbye. Well, if it's a 60-minute lesson, then it might be that you still have 20-25 minutes left before it ends. So obviously you cannot just stare into each other's eyes for 25 minutes or ask, what's your favorite color? So what you're gonna do is start the lesson. I generally introduce the alphabet to students who have zero knowledge of Italian. I introduce the alphabet and obviously new words that are related to it. For example, albero starts with a, which means tree, and things like that. And while if it's a student that already has a higher level, I start revising and a grammatical rule, for example, or I revise vocabulary or anything that I feel like, or that the student mentioned. And that's it, I guess. I hope you guys found this video interesting. If you have any other tips, please let me know. I'd be interested to hear what your first lesson looks like, and if you get anxious or nervous. I personally do, but I'm getting better and better, I would say, because I have this, like bullet points, and I'm like tick, 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 tick. Just try to, I guess, keep it natural and try really, you know, like it sounds cliche, but really try to be yourself. Try to keep it natural, you know, laugh, don't be really stiff, and I'm sure you will get the student if you show that you have passion for it. I'm sure you will. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Ciao!